morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning Five here on Monday, July 31st, 2017. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm very happy to be joined by Alex Gleitman. Alex, let's start with Kavon Pope, number 7 inside linebacker in the country. What is the latest with Kavon Pope?
Yeah, well, he'll make his decision on August 4th, which is crazy. It's coming up, on Friday at this point? This one's going to be down to basically Ohio State and Georgia, a couple other schools, Florida State, some of the hometown Virginia schools, technically in the mix. But this one's been over for a while. Pope is known for a few months now. He's wanted to go to Ohio State. He came to camp to try to make his offer committable. They kind of asked him to hold off, send some transcripts. He did that. He wanted to come back from the opening, commit to Ohio State. He obviously didn't get the green light at that point, so he announced that he would be taking some visits and pushing back his decision. He did go down to Georgia for a camp there, liked it a ton, and I think the Bulldogs probably would be the pick if it weren't for a couple weeks ago, Urban Meyer and his staff meeting after Friday Night Lights, evaluating all the players on their board, looking at the film once again, and then giving Kavon Pope the green light to commit to Ohio State. That's when the announcement came for him I think it was actually the day of Friday Night Lights, so maybe even before the event, for him to announce his decision on August 4th, and that's where we are now. And I think, come August 4th, there's going to be a lot of happy Ohio State fans who are going to get Kavon Pope to be the third linebacker in this class, along with Taraja Mitchell and Dallas Gant. And I think when you look at what positions they play, I think you're going to see Pope. I know he's ranked as an inside guy, but I think you're going to see him as an outside guy, kind of in that walkout linebacker position that Jerome Baker is going to fill this year for the Buckeyes.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's listed at 6'2", 210 pounds. That sounds a lot more like a walkout linebacker than a middle linebacker, though, of course, he's only in high school. They could pack pounds on him if they wanted to. Good stuff there on Pope. Other than Pope, what's the biggest recruiting story on your radar right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, last night, Frederick Juice Scruggs from Erie, Pennsylvania announced, he's actually originally from Ashtabula, Ohio, but he announced that he was going to make his college decision on August 4th, and he told Bill Kerlick that will be between Ohio State and Penn State. And Steve Wilfong actually put something up on Bucknuts this morning. I chimed in with my own opinions and my own crystal ball, for that matter. I'm picking Juice to Penn State after checking on some things. I'm not sure, as Steve put in his post, I'm not sure how high Juice is on the board with who they have in. I think a few months, maybe in January, things could have been different. But having Max Ray in, and I think more importantly having Matt Jones in, another inside guy in the class right now, and with the numbers Ohio State is working with the rest of the way, I don't think he's a guy that they're pushing extremely hard for right now. I think he's a guy that they'd rather wait, and see if there's spots left because, Jackson Carman's still on the board at offensive line. And then, they're going to be making pushes for guys like William Barnes and Trey Hill and Jemery Salyer and, a couple of other elite type guys to kind of fill that fourth role, assuming that they lead and can close on Jackson Carman. And so I think that, with guys like Vertus Brown and Juice Scruggs, the effort just hasn't been there as it normally would for a top target after they locked up Matt Jones to kind of be an inside guy in this class. So I'm expecting, not only because of that, Penn State has done a great job with Juice Scruggs and they've recruited him pretty hard. He's an in-state guy, and that's the type of guy that they need to get. I'm expecting him to pick Penn State on August 4th. So I think on August 4th, Ohio State and Penn State are each going to split a member of the top 247 recruits in the class of 2018. So that's one big story. And then the other big story outside of those is, we're still waiting on Doug Nestor, 2018 offensive lineman, to announce his commitment. I do expect it to be Ohio State when it happens, and I expect it to be within the next couple of weeks. So those are just a couple of things I'm watching over the next few weeks.
And switching gears to team coverage, the Buckeyes have had 2 practices thus far. They'll have another one today. Practice is not open to the media today, but we will interview Urban Meyer after practice around 4:50 p.m., maybe around 5 p.m. So really late this afternoon or early this evening, we will interview Urban Meyer. My question for you, Alex, what has intrigued you the most about camp so far?
For me, it's still, they haven't really gotten into it too much. I think it's the position battles, most notably right guard. I think that's going to be an extremely important position for Ohio State to identify who their guy is within the first couple weeks of camp, because, you know, that first game is, what is it? It's July 31st. So, 31 days, I guess now, until the season starts. You want at least 2 weeks for that starting right guard to be practicing with the rest of the line, to be in sync and cohesive with that unit. Because you got a game at Indiana, which certainly won't be easy. Like Kevin Wilson, if he's got things clicking, will certainly make it rain on his old team. But, that team is led by Tom Allen, and that was a good defensive team last year, and he's a defensive guy leading that team. So, you know, they know Kevin Wilson, and they always do a good job against the Buckeyes. That won't be easy. And then Oklahoma, 10 days later or whatever it is, certainly won't be easy. So you're going to want to get that right guard in place as soon as possible, starting to gel with the rest of the starting lineup. So that's something that really intrigues me to look for over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I think that's something that they really need to get in place. Obviously, everyone's looking at what does the offense look like, what receivers emerge, who's the other starting safety, how does Dante Booker look at linebacker, how's JT Barrett throwing the football, things along those lines are all the storylines everyone's kind of looking at. But for me, it's right guard. And then as a bonus, I'll throw out, I'm curious to see what the kicking situation looks like. Ohio State hasn't had a very stable kicking situation since Drew Basil left. And so that's, is Sean Nuernberger gonna lock down the job? Is Blake Hallbill gonna take it and run with it? So right guard and kicker are the two things I think Ohio State needs to establish and get done in the next couple of weeks.
I think Nuernberger's gonna return to form. I thought he was pretty good as a true freshman on the national championship team. I think he's going to be, as a fourth-year junior, pretty solid. But who knows? He was beat out the last couple of years by former walk-ons. So you never know. I know last year partially was due to injury, but yeah, the transfer from Duke, Jack Willoughby, beat him out a couple of years ago. Obviously, Tyler Durbin last year took the job and ran with it. Was doing great up until the Penn State game, and then it fell apart against Michigan. But I think I'm bullish on Nuernberger this year. Hopefully, I'm right for the Buckeyes' sake. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, who is your prediction to win the right guard job? I know there's a lot of guys vying for it. If you had to bet your car or anything of value to you, who do you think will win the right guard job?
Well, good thing I live in New York City and don't own a car.
That's why I amended it. I was thinking about that. Like, you might not even own a car. So yeah, anything of value.
I would probably go Matt Burrell at this time. I think Malcolm Pridgeon's the guy they probably wanted to win it coming into the off season, and he's got incredible measurables, athleticism, whatever. But for whatever reason, whether it's like mentally he's not clicking or he's just he's not the player they thought. I don't know what it is. The injury is still slowing him up because he's only about a year away, removed from the injury. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem like he's really taken the role and seized it. And Demetrius Knox had the kind of inside edge heading into the spring, and then some academic bumps in the road kind of put him in the doghouse. And Matt Burrell kind of just took that job and ran with it. And he seems to be from what I've been hearing from people, he seems to be the front runner heading into fall camp. And he's a kid who was in and out of the doghouse for some off-field stuff his first couple years in the program, but it seems this offseason he finally, something clicked in his head. I know he's been working really hard with Billy Price, who's kind of taken him under his wing and really dedicated himself to being the player that Ohio State thought they were getting out of Virginia a few years back. And so I think he's going to be the guy who continues to hold on to this job over the next couple of weeks and gets named as the starting right guard to play next, in between actually now Billy Price and Isaiah Prince.
Great stuff as always out of Alex Gleitman. Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you very much to the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best in abandoned land.